was born in a little village in Italy, in the region of Abruzzo, and the village was called Monteveldera. It was a mountain with a view. I think we all come to a situation when you leave school, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with my career? And when you sit down and analyse your strengths and weaknesses and think, what can I really do? I knew I wasn't academic. I wasn't going to get, go to university. I didn't have that type of brain. So when I came to the age of leaving school, let's go with what you were enjoying. Let's go what was heartfelt, yeah? So I picked my comb up, I combed my hair, and I started looking in the mirror more, yeah? I knew I wanted to be part of fashion. And I knew I couldn't be a Mary Quant, not because of the sex, because of, I don't think I'd ever go and study to be a designer. But I could be a hairdresser, whether it's barbering or styling of hair. I decided then I want to be a hairdresser because I want to be part of that industry. I felt I just needed more experience, I needed more confidence. I knew our cousin had a salon in Italy called Mario, and then I decided to go and get further experience in Italy. The most important person, the first lesson you're going to learn is, Frank, the client who comes through that door is the most important person. And he said to me, I want you to think of that person as the royal family. In 1966, I met a beautiful young lady. Her name was Philippa. And I say this from my heart, I fell in love with her. I fell in love with Philippa. And let me tell you, we've stayed together now for 49 years. I could not have done what we've achieved without her. So in 1967, this was the real start of Francesco Group. I decided to go and work for myself, and I decided to buy a little minivan, and I would advertise my services and say, I'll come to your home to do your hair. I wanted to have a salon, an environment that gave and helped me be creative, yeah? And have a team of people around me to be creative. So my dream was realised. I bought my first salon, yeah? A little salon, Bridle Road, Stafford. Do you know when I took this over in 1967, do you know what the size was?
No.
Let me tell you. See this point here? The salon only came to here. Only to here.
Yeah.
Okay? And we only had these two bay windows. There was a row of hair dryers. And the ladies were all sitting there. And you know where I'd work? Where your manageress works now, here. I always worked here, and there's still a place here. I feel at home already. Oh. It feels so strange. It's 15 years since I last worked at this chair. But before then I worked here for at least 30 years. And this was the hub of the start of our business. This is the future. What is the future? And the future for us is so important. Not only just training in this salon, but training at our academies is crucial. Molly will attend a training and develop her skills to be one day, hopefully, have our own salon with Francesco Group.
Obviously, I started with my brother Frank, and he was kind enough to give me a job at his salon. So I worked with Frank, and after a while, I don't know how long it was, yeah, I wanted something different. It just wasn't, it wasn't right for me. And I pushed Frank into sort of allowing me to do a course in London, which I went on. And as soon as I did that course, as soon as I saw the West End, because this is the mid-70s, early 70s, that was it. My fire was lit. The passion was there. Hairdressing was it. A few years later, with Frank, we opened a salon called Jim Jams in Stafford. And that was really my first salon. Frank had obviously got others, but he really did allow me to, show my freedom and guide me into doing the salon.
Frank is Dad, okay? I started my journey with Dad at Bridle Road many years ago, 20 odd years ago now. At that point, he was my mentor, he was my guide, and he still is to a certain extent. I always have and always will have him on that pedestal, and he's always been my strong influence. Peter's my uncle. He's been a fantastic mentor with me. He's been absolutely wonderful. He coaches me, he mentors me. He's a great ideas person, someone I can bounce off. So we have an absolutely fantastic relationship.
So the brand was sort of, Frank had Francesco salons, I had Jim Jams. And that wasn't right because, we needed to pull it all together. And I wanted the teaching side to be developed. I came out of the salon a day and I set up these courses over there. We then went into Wooding's Yard, which I think a lot of people know. And our enthusiasm for hairdressing then was the training. We set up a new school here. We set up a photo studio, which then I learned photography. We had some amazing photographs that we created. Our head office is here. We set up a boardroom, and we were starting to get our act together when we brought into Wooding's Yard. Suddenly, everything that we did, Frank and I, once we both agreed it, that was it. We were away.
To be successful, the first thing I did was recruited a lady called Sylvia Stenson, whose son works for us now, Richard. I used to, every week, give her a box of all the till rolls, get the wages sorted, and that was my bit of administration. But in those early days, administration was so important. So I recruited Sylvia, and Sylvia worked from home doing that. And that was taken care of.
I joined 30 years ago in Feb 87. My mum already worked here. She worked with Frank for many years before that. The company was looking to expand, and I'd just started a career in bookkeeping and accountancy. So that's really how it all became about. I joined as a junior bookkeeper really, along with my mum and Corinne, and helped the company with its early expansion in franchising. The best part is seeing a salon work out as you plan. So if it's a new salon, a new young franchisee, and seeing them flourish and reach their potential as a business person and get the rewards from running their own business, that's the most rewarding part.
Well, I think it's part of the DNA and the culture of the company. I long remember stories of how it was impossible to recruit people into the industry, to our business. We had to grow our own. So we grew that culture of growing our own people in the sense of taking them from an apprentice right the way through their training, becoming a stylist, becoming successful on the salon shop floor, becoming senior stylists, and then becoming the franchisees of the future. So there's very much as part of the culture of the company. It's deeply embedded that we grow our own and train our own people.
Apprenticeships is really important to me and I see great value in it, so much so that my own daughter went into the apprenticeship programme. She started with Francesco Group at 14 through her school, came to us 1 day a week, went into the apprenticeship programme and she's now fully employed as a master colour expert in one of our salons.
So my role with the board is it's all about the hairdressing. So it's about the brand, the creativity, how the imagery looks. Some people class it as the fun side. It's the hair, it's what we are about. And it's as fun as in the creative, but then it's about setting the standards and ensuring that we as a company sort of have our Francesco Group ways with how we go about cutting, colouring, just everything of how we do things is set. The main person who I work with day to day is Ben. He is, I would say, who I'm classing our working partnership. He is who I bounce off. In a good way, but then we'll have, he's who gets me going and sort of keeps me on track and motivates with where I'm at.
So here we are, great company. Frank's now letting go of the reins a little bit, letting me chair the company. I then said to him, actually he said to me, he said, Pete, you know what, Ben is your man. He's your man to run this company in the future. I said, love it, bring him on. So I had Ben, who we then brought into the business. I had Anya, who I was pushing on the hairdressing side, give her experience at different salons, and I decided to drive her more on the creative side. She's a family member, talented hairdresser. What Frank and I wanted to do was pass this on. So when Ben came on board, bless him, he's working with his uncle, and I've got to say, total respect to Ben, he did listen, and I put him through hell for 6 years.
Our business is built on apprenticeships. Our business is built on youngsters learning to be hairdressers. I learned what it would take at the age of 26 to run a business. So I worked with my uncle, and I literally, his desk was there, I work alongside him. Every meeting, I was alongside him. Everything the business did, I was alongside him. So that's when I started to become MD. I started to take on the management of the operations. There was a transition, and when you have a transition from an established, effective team to the new board of directors, we held it. We had a little bit of growth and success, but we held it. Then, as we got more confident, as the board of directors got more confident, the company's grown again. Now, this company knows who it is, what it is. The next generation of leaders know who they are, what they're about, what their values are, and they are ready to drive this company and have been driving it for a considerable time.
The core values and that sort of ethos of what we're about is beautiful hair. You know, we support them, the hairdressers, in the training that we do within the standards, right from the minute they join us, right the way through. There's that support that's there. And it's that family feel. We look after them, we nurture them from the training right the way through, and many areas for them to then progress into.
I think the core of FG is the family values. We all feel that we're part of an extended family. It's very personal. We'll never be a number in Francesco Group. You always be an individual, and that's the ethos that comes right from the top, from your Frank and your Pete, right the way through to the directors, and right the way through to apprentices, right down the chain. We value people, and it's a people business that we're in, and that's what comes through, and it makes it a pleasure to come to work.
Watching people grow and develop, and watching people hit their goals, whether it be personal, whether it be work related, helping and developing people, getting them to where they need to be in their careers, that to me, is absolutely fantastic.
If we haven't got the hairdressing right, we haven't got the quality of hairdressing to match that client's needs, we don't have a business. So training is key. Training, training, training.
There was a certain guy that approached us from down south who ran a group called Scissors and said he was very interested in what we were doing in franchising. In 2005, we went and brought the business, and it was 7 salons down there, Scissors, and that was the start of our southern-based business. And we felt that for longevity reasons, we need to pull it more into the family. And we asked Yogi, who was married to Mia, who's a family member, to come and run it.
No 2 days are the same. And I think the great thing is that I'm working with people all the time and helping them realise their dreams and, getting the best out of them. And just enjoying it as well. I think that's so important. Everybody's got different qualities, and I try and use my experience. I get experience from my fellow directors, and I can share that with my teams so they can enjoy what they do and get the best out of their people as well, and work together as a team.
We're true to our people. We're true to developing people. We believe in apprenticeships because growing someone from 16 to 19, in our view, that is the only way you grow a business. And that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of the 40 salons that we have. I'm proud that we've just opened FG Man. Our success has come through believing in our values, believing in hard work, believing in doing things right, believing in investing, get the education right. And year after year, it's got better and better and better and better. To where this year we've had one of our best years ever. We've had a major industry winner. We've got finalists in major industry awards. We are winning. And the name and reputation of this company is up there with the very best. And that is 50 years of hard work that never stops. Never stop working at it.
As part of our company's ethos, we're very much about reward and recognition, and each year we hold an award ceremony, and that is about rewarding the best. We have so many great people in our company, and it's only right and fitting that we actually reward them. So once a year we bring the whole company together, and it's a night really of pure celebration.
It's creative, it's fun, it's hair. You're making people feel good at the end of the day, and you're then supporting people within their training to allow them to make people feel good, and that is rewarding when you see, especially on the training side, someone coming through, going from nervous, no confidence, through to being successful, award winning. That kind of makes it.
What Frank could do, the different shapes, things like called the cottage loaf, the pleats he used to do, his long hair that used to stay, and when you go back in the history, you see all those different looks. Frank was brilliant at that, and he obviously picked that up in Italy. When I saw architecture come into hairdressing, that changed my mind then. Then it was suddenly I could see lines, I could see, percentages. Even if you lift, when you cut somebody's hair and you lift it up a little bit, it will change the way the hair will lie. Suddenly it was about perfection in haircuts. The skills that Frank had learnt and I had learnt in the early days of setting, I'm seeing that come back. Maybe the likes of Frank needs to come back in and show some of the youngsters how he could make a curl last twice as long as it does now, because that's what they had to do in those days. The team ready to take it forward, absolutely first class. They're dynamite.
The business has grown to what it is now, and I could spend hours talking about the good things we've done and some of the not so good things we've done, and this journey will have lots of twists in it. And unless you go into a great depth and great detail of that, all I can say is the journey has been a development. The journey continues to be a development of growing Francesco Group.